Hey everybody, welcome back. So this is going to be my goals video for 2024. Now, normally I film these at the end of the previous year and they're like my first video back after the Christmas New Year break, and it's like go, 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 and I already know what all my goals are going to be, hence why it gets pre-filmed. But no, this year it was very different. Hence why you're getting this right at the end of January, because I needed time to process the end of last year and the end of my career and work as an online sex educator, and time at the beginning of this year to really settle in and figure out what on earth it was that I wanted to do and what goals I wanted to set for myself this year. I really enjoy setting goals at the beginning of the year, and then of course also in the middle of the year and then towards the end of the year. I just love goal setting in terms of figuring out what direction I want to go in, what my key themes are for the year and things that I want to achieve, and then making a plan to do so. But this year my process with figuring out what my goals are was very different to previous years. So previously I would write out all of my projects, like all of my buckets of work things, so like the YouTube channel, the podcast, the newsletter, Patreon, all of these things, and then write what my main goals were or projects that I wanted to do and things that I wanted to do under that category for that year. But that was always very much about what my current projects were and thinking about the details within them of things that I wanted to do, and less big picture goals, themes, overarching dreams and desires and things like that. I was always just kind of continuing with what I was doing and, doing small changes and aiming for small things in between all of that. And this year is very different because obviously I said goodbye to a lot of my previous work at the end of last year, and so I really needed some time to reflect on 2023 and really look forward into this year of what on earth do I actually want to do? So I went into this year having a rough idea of what my January and February were going to look like, because I wanted to prioritize rest and leisure whilst also maintaining this YouTube channel, my Patreon, and then exploring new career stuff, but without being rushed or feeling any kind of pressure. But beyond that, I was just I don't know, we'll see. So I wanted to find some focus for this year and make some rough plans. So the way that I actually did this was through Ali Abdul's annual planning workshop that he hosted at the beginning of this year. That was an online thing. I just watched the recording of it because I couldn't attend live. But that was really helpful to work through, do all of the reflection exercises. I could have just read it written down on a worksheet or something, but there was something really nice about just having the recording of the live stream play in the background and listening to Ali talk through all the different prompts. And then they had music playing for when it was time for people to do the things. It was nice to have that kind of accountability there, but then I could also pause it and stop it as and when I pleased, which was very helpful. He used movie soundtrack music in the background, which was excellent. I loved that touch. And to my surprise, I cried twice. Honestly, not what I was expecting going into a goals setting annual planning workshop. But there was some moments where we did visualizations of closing your eyes and picturing yourself at the end of the year and what does that feel like? What are you thinking? What have you achieved? And all of this. And then with the swelling soundtrack music, it just manipulated my emotions and I cried. So fun. So I definitely wasn't expecting that, but basically I'm going to take you through the process of how I came up with these goals and then what my goals are. And also this video is sponsored by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform for creators, entrepreneurs, and freelancers to stand out and succeed online. More about them later. So we're going to go into the what, when, why, and hows of these goals. So the what is what the goal actually is. The when, so for the case of these goals, these are my 1 year goals, but we also did this massive brain dump of everything we could ever think of that we want to do, and then you put a number next to each thing of 1, 3, 5, or 10 in terms of how many years that goal is of when you want to achieve it. And so we're just focusing on the 1 year right now, and the other ones can wait. Then there is the why. So for each of my 1-year goals, I wrote out all of the reasons why that goal is important to me, why I want to do or achieve that thing. And the more reasons, the better, because then it becomes a stronger goal. And then finally, the how. How? What is the plan? What is the strategy? What are the systems in place to help you achieve this goal? So in the workshop, Ali talked about how it's best to have as few goals as possible, roughly 3 to 5. And I've always had way more goals than this. So I took this as a challenge. I was like, okay, let's see if I can really distill all of my goals, all of the things that I want to do in a year down to just 3 to 5 goals. So this is what I came up with. I've got 2 work goals, 1 personal goal, and 1 relationships-based goal. So the first of my work goals is to establish my new career as a project manager / mentor for creators. And here are a bunch of my whys. So I love doing project management for myself, and it's something that I really want to try and do for others. I want to use my organizational skills to help my fellow creators who maybe find the organization side of things a bit more difficult. It uses my strengths, and I think I'll be good at it. And I think I'll actually be able to help people and bring a lot of value to how they work. So those are some of my whys, and this is my plan to make this goal achievable. So I need to reach out to the initial people that I started conversations with at the end of last year for consultations. I want to find some friends and colleagues to be guinea pigs. I want to do the Google Coursera project management course. I need to network, and I've written reach out to 2 people a week, although it probably won't be as consistent as that. I'll probably I don't know, do a batch of reaching out and then a little bit here and there depending on who I meet and conversations had. I need to update my LinkedIn page. I want to create templates of some of the Notion databases that I've used and maybe create more ones that could be useful for other creators to use. And of course, I need to update my website, which leads me to thank Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Whether you're just starting out in the freelance world or you're a small business owner, Squarespace makes it super easy to create beautiful websites, to engage with your audience and sell anything from physical to digital products to courses to even your time, all in one place and all on your terms. So I host my website on Squarespace and I absolutely love it. It is so intuitive and easy to use, and we need to update a bunch of things on there for this year. So that is part of my plan for reaching this goal, but having my website on Squarespace just makes it so easy to make changes like this and adapt to things as your career and as your business changes and grows. They have really beautiful, professional and flexible website templates. You just pick the one that is right for you, and then you can add your own branding and content. They have loads of different features that you can add to meet whatever your specific needs are, and you can really make any template just do whatever you want, and they all work seamlessly across different devices on desktop, tablet and mobile. Their Fluid Engine website design system is super intuitive and powerful. It is all drag and drop technology, which just makes website design really easy, even for someone like me who literally knows nothing about website design. I can scratch learning how to code a website off my goals and my to-do list for this year because I have Squarespace who can do all of that for me, and I can just have fun designing it and dragging and dropping and adding my pictures and writing my content. Great. You can also host courses on Squarespace with professional layouts to fit your brand, and you can upload all of your course material and videos. Courses can be a really great way to earn income as a freelancer if you've got a skill that other people want to learn from you, and Squarespace makes that all easy, all in one place. You can pick if it's a one-time fee or a subscription, and it is just all hosted on your website. So if you want to create your own website for your business, your work, your side hustle, whatever it might be, then head to squarespace.com to start your free trial, and then when you are ready to launch it to the world, you can go to squarespace.com/morehannah to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Okay, so my second work-related goal is to be more active on social media. I know, shocking. In 2024, everyone here is quitting social media. I've seen so many people leaving Instagram, but I'm here like feeling very excited about social media for the first time in a while. So here I'm talking about really Instagram, and then if I'm gonna be making reels, I might as well put them on TikTok and maybe Threads. I don't know, TBC on the Threads thing. But here are some of my whys, and I had to really think about this because I was like, what is compelling me? What is drawing me towards social media right now? Is it all superficial reasons? So I had to really think about this and make sure that this was definitely a goal that I wanted to prioritize. So my reasons is that I just wanted to feel more connected to my community. I feel like I've just been a bit distant, or I like feel a bit distant from you guys, which I don't know, is this like weird reverse parasocial relationship? I don't know. But I'm just feeling really desperate for that like community connection and that interaction and community vibes that you can get on places like Instagram. I'm excited about short form video as a creative outlet. I kind of just want to play around with it. I just want to have fun. I want to like be inspired by what other people are creating and just like do my own thing, just for no reason other than like I want to. I want a speedier follower churn. So what I mean by this is that the more that I post and the more that I really start to get into the flow of posting whatever it is I'm going to be making, there'll be a bigger follower churn. So more people will unfollow who don't want to follow me anymore because they'll be like more likely to be constantly reminded of my existence. And they'll be like, no, I'm good. And then maybe more new people will follow who find the new stuff and are like, oh, who's this? I like this. So it's not a case of like wanting to grow on these channels necessarily, especially on Instagram where I've got like quite an archive of followers. I just want a speedier follower churn so that the people who are there are interested and engaged. I want to get through this creative block and this pressure that I feel about posting on Instagram and TikTok. I just feel like I need to go down the quantity route and just like not care so much about quality and just like put stuff out there, dedicate some time to it, and hopefully that will get me unstuck. And then I just want to have fun. I want to have fun creating. I want to have fun connecting. I just want to enjoy these platforms. Like I feel excited about them. What? So here's my plan. And this is, I think, where I could potentially fall down. So I also need to plan to regularly check in with this plan and reassess and like actually make sure I'm doing it. So I want to book in weekly time for an inspiration scroll and creative time. So I just feel like I need to be on the apps more, but in a very intentional way rather than just like mindlessly scrolling, but like intentionally going on the apps, seeing what conversations are being had, seeing the things that people are making, getting inspired, getting ideas, that kind of thing. And then from that, making an active plan about, okay, these are the things that I want to make, and then making them. Can't be that hard, can it? Something I want to experiment with is like hiring a photographer for maybe like one day a month or one day every 2 months, and just going out and shooting a bunch of content, maybe different outfits, different locations, maybe shooting some reels and things as well. It can be so difficult to create content for these platforms on your own. Yes, I know that tripods exist, but it's just so much easier if you've got somebody else there, also someone who's a professional who can create really beautiful things, and then also someone just to like bounce ideas off, someone to hold your phone. And then the other thing that I want to do that I think will help me stick with this plan is to create a content calendar for social media. So I'm all about my content calendar for YouTube videos, but I've never really made one for social media because it's never been like something that I've like actively wanted or needed. So I want to create one of those for myself so I can actually like keep on top of and track all of my ideas and everything that I want to make. But also that ties into my previous goal, because as I work on this template and hopefully like start using it and perfect it and get it into a functional space, that could be something that I then share with others as well, if that is useful. So yeah, there's my plan. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok, and we can ignore Threads for now. Okay, so next up is my one personal goal, and that is to simply read more books, but especially sex and relationships nonfiction, and especially reading in bed in the evenings. So there are like specific goals under this big vague umbrella of read more books. So, my whys. I love reading. It makes me so happy. I am desperate to read some sex and relationships nonfiction books that I have been putting off and not been able to get to because I've been too busy the last couple of years. I still want to satisfy the sex nerd part of me, even if it isn't my job to make content about it anymore. I still want to have my time with my sexy books, you know? One of my big whys for fiction books is that I just love immersing myself in new worlds, especially in terms of fantasy and sci-fi. If you've got any fantasy and sci-fi recommendations, let me know. Audiobooks are great company for walks and chores. Dan and I have talked about wanting solo evenings away from each other after Rowan has gone to bed, but we only have the one living space. But I'm going to use this as an opportunity to read in bed by myself in the evenings before I go to sleep. So that's two birds, one stone, because I get to read more, and Dan and I also just get like precious alone time, which we so very rarely get in the flat, in the space that we live in with a toddler. And I miss reading in bed in the evenings. That is like such a luxury to me, and I haven't done it in so long. So my plan, audiobooks, nothing new there. Go to bed early. I think Dan will be the one to help hold me accountable on this one because he's such an introvert. He needs his alone time more than me. So I'll just be like, Dan, please kick me out. And then he'll kick me out. And then I'll be like, okay, great, I'll go read now. Because if he doesn't kick me out, then I will just like stay hanging out next to him scrolling on my phone. My plan for accountability for reading sex and relationship-based books is going to be a book club over on my Patreon, and we are going to be starting with Come Together by Emily Nagoski, which is out now or comes out tomorrow, and we're going to be reading that over the next 6 to 8 weeks. There is a thread in our Discord server. We're opening up this first round to everyone, this first book to everyone. There'll probably be like a group chat or a live stream or something at the end once everyone's finished the book. So yeah, come join us. I'm hoping to do around 5 or 6 books this year. I'm planning on doing another monthly reading vlog because you guys seem to like the last one, and this year I'm going to do it for my birthday month, which is February, so that starts tomorrow. We might do more of them, but for now I have my plan to do my birthday reading month vlog, so that's exciting. And my other thing is to always know what my next book is before I finish my current one, because this is where I always fall down. Like I finish a book and I don't know what I want to read next, and then it takes me like a few days, maybe even a week, to then get into the next one, and I feel a bit lost in that time. So I want to always know what it is that I want to read next, or at least have like a choice of 3 so I can pick one depending on what mood I'm in. Next up is the category of relationships, and my goal here is to host more dinners for friends. And here are some of my whys. I have been feeling a bit more lonely and isolated recently. It seems to come with the territory of being a mum, but that doesn't mean I have to be happy with it or not do anything about it. I genuinely feel just like the most happiest and grateful and fulfilled when I am nurturing my relationships with friends and family. I love cooking for other people, and I love hosting, and having people round to ours is a great excuse to still see people whilst it not messing with our entire evening routine and bedtime and stuff with Rowan. Selfishly, it is super easy for us. We don't have to travel anywhere. It means that we're not getting super late nights, and most of our friends don't have kids, so this is like the perfect time to be doing this, where we invite them over to ours, because if any of them start having kids in the future, then we'll have to negotiate different ways of hanging out. But for now, this just like feels like the perfect scenario where we can still see our friends. My friends can still see Rowan and like bond with him and see how he's changing, because that's always really special to me when my friends hang out with my child. We don't have to get a babysitter, and once Rowan goes to bed, then we can stay up for a little bit longer, just adults, and have like proper adult chats. Having friends round for dinner is honestly like my dream social scenario at the moment. So here is the plan. Just generally check in with friends more often and then invite them round for dinner. So I would love to be hosting a different friend or small group of friends, or friends who are in a couple or whatever, like every 2 to 3 weeks, maybe. That would be ideal. And then I'll just like rotate through my friends. So there we have it. Those are my goals for the year. They really do feel like big themes rather than like the specific goals in the way that I normally set them, but it feels good. It feels good to have like a purpose and a direction. So like books is a big one for me, friends and dinners is a big one for me, and then like this new career and then social media. Like those are my 2024 buckets, and we're gonna see how they go. Obviously, I've got some honorable mentions of goals, and these are things that either I don't feel like I need to set as a goal because it's more of a maintenance thing, like I'm already doing that thing and we're just gonna continue and it's gonna be great, or they're a bit more ad hoc, or as you will see, they are unpredictable and not always in my control. So those honorable mentions are obviously weekly videos on this YouTube channel, organize more playdates with mum friends, get pregnant, have another baby, start therapy, and do more tennis and Pilates. So there you go. Those are my 2024 goals. I would love to hear in the comments if you've set any goals this year. What are your themes for the year? How are you feeling about goal setting? Is that something that you do or don't do? I honestly would recommend it. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to Squarespace again for sponsoring this video. I hope that you're doing well, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!